afternoon, Liberty High School. Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2009. I'm Claire Williams.
And I'm Taylor Hammond. Today in our show, we'll be taking a deeper look into parent-teacher conferences and parents' opinions on the student's success, and a student taking her dreams to new heights by achieving her pilot's license.
In sports news, we'll hear about the new elite weight program Coach Wells has made to improve the focus and drive of the Liberty football team. Becca, I've been enjoying the warmer weather lately. What should we expect for our weather today?
Well, Claire, later on we should be expecting some rain, but as you can see, this morning has been pretty calm and cool.
Well, Becca, I was wondering if I should keep an umbrella handy today.
I would definitely recommend that, Taylor. I'll be in the studio later on to give you an in-depth look at our weather, so stay tuned. Your KLHS TV News starts now.
Many students dread parent-teacher conferences, but parents find it helpful for getting feedback of their students' success in the classroom. Chris Francis and Chris Young bring us more.
Good morning, Liberty. My name is Chris Young, along with my cameraman, Chris Francis. We're going to follow Chip Bruce tonight and take a deeper look into parent-teacher conferences. Mr. Bruce, do you feel that these parent-teacher conferences are beneficial to the children's education?
I think they're an important part of it. I think it's important as a parent to be involved in what our kids are doing. I know I like to know what my daughter's teachers think of her and how they're relating with her, and if there's any problems or concerns that I can help with at home.
Chris and I witnessed positive interactions between Mr. and Mrs. Bruce and the teachers with whom they met. We asked Debbie Bruce if she thought the conferences were efficient as well as interactive.
Yes, it was. Very quick, very fast. Didn't have to take up much time, and I'm on a break from Liberty Middle School, so I want to make sure that I, can get in and get out very quickly, which I did.
Currently, I'm standing in front of the registration tables where parents make their first stop of the evening during conferences. Chris and I are now going to ask several teachers how they think the turnout of the conferences is going this evening.
Of course, not all parents come that you'd like to see, but for the most part, I think, coming from a different school, I found that Liberty has a great turnout for these because I've been in another district where we might have 2 or 3 parents show up the whole night. So I think it's something that works for Liberty, and I think that's great.
Do you feel that these conferences get a pretty good turnout?
I think the ones in the first semester are probably a better turnout. This one's so late in the year that I don't get the numbers that I do early in the year.
I will say that Liberty's the 7th school district in which I've taught, and we have more parent participation here than any other district I've ever worked in, and I think that says something for the community and the district.
We're currently in the library where several teachers were placed for conferences because it is such a large-scale event. Obviously, the turnout has been good, but how does having a child accompany the parent affect the interaction between the parent and the teacher? I'm here with Mr. Langford and his son Andrew, and they just attended conferences. Sir, what was it like having your son to accompany you to conferences this evening?
Oh, it's great. Andrew has a great relationship with all of his teachers, and there's a great deal of communication.
I don't know that it affects mine too much. I mean, you've got to be honest, and if they're not doing well, they know they're not doing well, and you need to be honest about it. You might not be quite as free to say and talk about maybe everything that you would if they weren't there, but for the most part, I don't think it makes a big difference.
It's okay having them at conferences. I kind of like that they come. It means that they're involved in my life and that they really do care about what I do. So.
With teachers this evening, both those new and veterans of parent-teacher conferences, it is apparent that having a good turnout and positive interactions with the parents was overall beneficial to the children's education. Also, after interviewing students and their parents, it is clear that the accompaniment of a child to conferences not only gets the parent involved in their children's education, but establishes a relationship between the teacher and the parents themselves. This has been Chris Young and Chris Francis reporting for KLHS TV News.
Well, I don't know about you, Claire, but parent-teacher conferences always make me a little nervous.
I know what you mean, Taylor, but something that always puts me in a good mood is a great meal. And now that I can find healthy choices during lunch, I don't find myself snacking on all those Twinkies. Emily Bowen and Emily Rotert take an in-depth look at the things that students can do to keep themselves healthy.
With the new year came resolutions for everyone. Some decided to get better grades, to get a job, or to save up money. One of the most popular resolutions heard for people was to lose weight. But as it is now February, many have already forgotten any previous goals. While thinking to lose weight isn't always the key idea, it is important to think of your health during everyday decisions. Many high school students get carried away with the convenience of fast food and going out to eat with friends, while also choosing to lie around after school instead of exercising. An important thing that many don't realize, though, is that the choices being made now can greatly affect them in the future.
Well, I think food choices is probably going to be your number one concern when you talk about health and fitness, how that correlates to long, healthy life. I understand that a lot of high schoolers feel like they're in a hurry, or part of it's a social field to go maybe to a restaurant or fast food choices and things like that. But the more we do that, the harder it is on our body. Okay, so fast food in general, no matter what it is not a good choice.
A common excuse to avoid working out is that you're too tired from school, or you've been working all day, or that you're too stressed and just want to go home. However, at home the stress may continue to build. But being active is a great way to relieve that stress. By working out, it allows you time for yourself, where you can forget about all of the other things that may be troubling you.
The best thing about stress is that there's a way to get rid of it. The best thing to do is get active. Go for a run outside. Don't necessarily have to come into the gym, but lifting some sort of weight, resistance type training is good. Taking a yoga class, Pilates. You need to channel a lot of that energy that you're kind of bottling up that causes the stress into something else that's active.
Multiple studies have shown that the choices people make when they are young can lead to forming unhealthy habits throughout their lives. So many students don't realize how unhealthy things are that they're continuing to do every day. Eating pizza and cookies as a regular meal and spending spare time on a couch watching TV can add up, causing serious health risks in the future. For a healthier future, students should put more thought into their daily choices. This has been Emily Rotert and Emily Bowen for KLHS News.
While all these healthy choices will make your midsection happy, the Liberty Orchestra has been making folks around the country's ears happy. They headed to Atlanta, Georgia at the tail end of the week to play at the American String Teachers Association National Conference.
Before they left on a 15-hour bus ride, they stopped at Pleasant Valley Baptist Church to entertain friends, family, and administrators with a taste of their music. They received second place. As one might expect, this is a very prestigious honor. The Liberty community is very proud.
Orchestra isn't the only type of music found here at Liberty High School. Many student musicians work outside of the classroom to perfect their passion. Connor Hickox and Danny Murdock give us more on student musicians.
Music. It expresses feeling and thought. It was before speech, and it is above and beyond words. For some, it's a hobby. For others, a passion. Whatever the case, student musicians are making their mark on Liberty High School. To senior Matt Suarez, life is the biggest influence on his music.
I mainly started doing music for worship at my church. And then I started getting into other things. I started doing my own stuff, writing my own stuff the past few years. And I've been mainly, I don't really, I write about things just things about life, really, and everything that happens in life.
Life plays a similar role in senior Zach Tyler's music. To him, music is his destiny in life.
Well, music to me is like just the most beautiful thing in the world. And I think the whole purpose of life is to make something beautiful out of something simple. And so to me, I think music is like a destiny of mine to just take something simple like these keys of the piano and create something, wonderful. And it's inspiring itself.
Joseph Tatum, cellist, offers a different outlook on his music. The greatest reward for him is seeing the smiles on people's faces when he performs.
What I enjoy most about music is performing for people. For me, there's no point in music if it's not shared with everyone, and that's why I do this, to play for people. I've played music since I was 5. I just really enjoy playing. I've played with many orchestras throughout my 12 years playing, and it's been the most fun experience of my life. I really hope to continue this and do a performance major, and hopefully for my life do this.
Nothing in the lives of these student musicians is written in stone. Music may or may not take these students somewhere, and they may or may not want it to, but it has at least brought them this far and given them an opportunity for a creative outlet. This has been Connor Hickox and Danny Murdock reporting for KLHS TV News.
Thanks, Connor and Danny. Most students don't realize how much time and effort goes into following your dreams.
Senior Stacey Elliott knows how to do just that. Receiving a pilot's license is no easy task. Mckee and Tiffany Liberty show us the determination needed to achieve her goal.
Most high schoolers are sweating about learning to drive their first car, but one student here at Liberty has taken those expectations to new heights, literally. Senior Stacey Elliott just recently obtained her license to fly. With all the stress of high school tests, the test of aerodynamics was not an easy task to take on. Students who wish to see the world from a different view must first go through a pretty strenuous training.
I started out doing ground school, which is like all the written work. That was 2 summers ago. I was 15 and I did all the written work, and I had to take written tests, and it's like a college class. And then I started doing training in September of last year.
After the completion of ground school, Stacey's next step was to find a flight instructor to help her execute everything she learned in ground school. Jim Rainin works for the ATD Flight Systems pilot training and was appointed as Stacey's instructor.
There's what's called a practical test. Practical test is the flying part of it. She had to meet certain requirements, solo requirements, cross-country requirements, and also maneuver requirements.
Students need a certain amount of hours in practice to be eligible to be tested for the official license. After the student completes these hours, the instructor needs to sign off on the timesheets.
She needed 5 hours of solo cross-country and 5 hours additional solo time. Now that could have been done here in the local area, which she did. After I trained her, I endorsed her logbook that she was ready to take a test, and then a Federal Aviation Authority examiner came to the airport.
When the Federal Aviation Authority examiner comes, there's a special procedure that has to be done. First, the examiner takes the student into the office and questions them about some features of the plane and appropriate flying technique. Next, the student has to take the instructor up in the plane and demonstrate various flying maneuvers.
When it's called check ride, where the FAA examiner sits in the seat with you and you fly in the plane, and then I passed my test on the 11th of October, so now I have my pilot's license.
Like in every other activity, parents have a huge influence on their children. Just like Stacey, her father has been involved with planes for the majority of his life.
I worked on a World War II bomber that was built in 1941. People asked me if I was scared, and I says, nah. I said it's probably safer than a lot of planes.
Not very many students at this young age have actually received their pilot's license. Stacey's father is very proud of his daughter for achieving so much in such little time.
Somebody that's 17 years old that's got her license that she can fly. It's an achievement that not very many people do.
With Stacey reaching her dream at such a young age, her future looks very bright.
I plan on having a career as a commercial pilot and making a living off of what I love doing.
This has been Anna Mckee and Tiffany Liberty for KLHS TV News.
That's really impressive. I remember when I was little and I thought it would be amazing to fly.
What kid didn't dream of flying? Speaking of kids, Claire, do you remember the days when we would sing our school song every Friday morning?
I sure do, Taylor. Those were the days, and the tradition still remains at Lewis and Clark Elementary. Chris Francis shares the memories of school spirit.
Ah, the joyous sounds of music. It can bring people together and bring back memories.
Those of you
Here at Miss Cornell's second grade class at Lewis and Clark Elementary, students are reciting their school song. This song, though seemingly simple, should remain in students' heads for many years to come.
I remember us singing on the blacktop, like, you know, outside, and that was really cool because, like, you didn't have, like, that diffusion of people finishing each other. It's like everyone together. It's like one huge, like, mass chorus.
As years pass by, some may lose such memories, but those who do remember their elementary alma mater song say that it brings back many memories from their childhood.
I remember every Friday we'd sing the song and she'd give us candy on Friday, so I look forward to Fridays.
The song can be a tool to remind seniors of their childhood and the people that they grew up with. Senior Chris Young recalls this time at Lewis and Clark Elementary. He says it brings back memories of friendly competition. He remembers the friends he had, how different they look and talk from now to then. So the next time you hear your elementary school fight song, don't be afraid to belt out a few bars of that catchy tune. This has been Chris Francis and Claire Cogan reporting for KLHS TV News.
Well, Becca, we talked earlier about chances of rain appearing in the forecast. Can you remind us on what is coming up in the weather this week?
As I said earlier, today we are currently sitting at a windy and warm 67 degrees, which is our high for today. There is an 80% chance for thunderstorms continuing all day, so don't get out without your umbrella. Tomorrow the rain will linger with scattered showers and a high of 62 degrees. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, the rain will be gone with sunny skies finally moving in. Our highs for Wednesday and Thursday should remain in the low 60s, so make sure you keep a light jacket. Friday and Saturday continue to have partly cloudy skies with highs in the low 50s. Moving on to Sunday, we will reach a cool and sunny 57 degrees. That's all I have for your KLHS weather update today. Back to you at the news desk.
Well, hopefully the weather doesn't interfere with our spring sport teams working hard this season. Now let's send it over to Madi, Reid, and Kevin Starr for our Blue Jays sports report.
Thank you, Claire. Kevin, I think you would agree that our football team saw one of its best seasons in a long while.
I would agree with that, Madi. A lot of their success was due to the arrival of new head coach Joel Wells.
That's right. The boys finished their season with a record of 70-3, but when the season ended for the fans, the boys continued their hard work. The team's off-season training program was completely redesigned this year in hopes that their success could continue into next season. Reporters Anna Mckee and Andrew Langford bring us more.
This year, the new head coach of the varsity football team, Joel Wells, has found a way to get the young athletes to participate in the after-school workouts by using a program called Blue Jay Elite. Blue Jay Elite not only promotes the players to succeed physically, but in all other aspects of their lives. The football team is broken into 6 teams, and each team is led by a captain that has shown excellence in the workouts.
Basically, what our Blue Jay Elite program is try to create positive citizens in our school.
We all wrote who we thought represented Mr. Blue Jay, our captain, and the top 6 were chosen as captains. And then from there we drafted teams, and then on those teams, that's how we do like our Blue Jay Elite points.
In the beginning of the program, each team is given a certain amount of points. Throughout the duration of the week, the team loses and gains points for their actions in the workouts and during the school hours.
You get points based on how good you do lifting, if you show up every day, and we get points for going to like school events like basketball games and stuff. And you get negative points for not coming to lifting or being tardy to class or getting bad grades, stuff like that.
At the end of the scoring period, the teams with the lowest amount of points go on a fun run.
The team who loses has a little fun run on Thursdays. It's an extra opportunity to gain team camaraderie between those young men. Fun for me, run for them.
During the week, there's a lot of competition between teams, so their Thursdays are free from running. Also, there's a lot of competition to be the overall winner of the first phase of Blue Jay Elite.
At the end of the year, the team with the most points gets to have a plaque on the wall in the weight room, and you get to be first in line for equipment next year.
Another benefit of Blue Jay Elite is the team bonding activities that are also taking place. Now each player on the team is responsible for knowing the names of all of the other players on the teams as well.
after we get done lifting, come together, and then he picks out one individual person, and that person then has to stand up, and the coach will point out 3 players, and you have to say their first and last name. And if you don't get it, then you have extra work.
Along with the team building, the attendance to the after-school workouts has increased tremendously since the program got underway.
Before we started the Blue Jay Elite program, we maybe had 30 kids showing up to weightlifting. Now we have 40, 50, 60, and they're expected to come, and you get yelled at if you don't. So it's definitely helping.
With this new program underway, the football team looks to be making a good start to their upcoming season. This has been Anna Mckee and Andrew Langford for your KLHS TV News.
We definitely have some dedicated athletes here at Liberty High School. A new team has emerged onto the scene this year, Liberty Rugby.
This team was started by a few students interested in the sport, and since then it has taken off, with the team already having a few wins under their belt, holding a record of 3-1-1.
Reporter Mason McCoy caught up with some of the players and their coach at practice to gain an understanding of what high school rugby is all about.
Approached me about thinking that there was enough boys at Liberty to coach the team, and about probably maybe 6 years ago, something like that, Dr. Jacobs also contacted me about wanting to get more of his kids playing sports. So I've been trying to find somebody to do it. For the years, I haven't been able to find anybody. So last year I took on 2 teams, coaching a girls team and a boys team last year, and we were able to accomplish that. So we decided we'd give this a try and try to get this started and get the ball rolling on getting a Liberty team started. So it is Liberty specific. We don't allow anybody from outside the district to play, so that we can start to build a relationship with the school and make sure that we work to progress to having one of the top teams in the state that's school related.
Well, we practice here at the park Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 6, and you know, there's not a whole lot of conditioning. It's more of working on technique and you know, just working, throwing the ball, handling and stuff. We condition on our own days. You know, practices are good. Our first game is February 28th, so we've had about a month to prepare, but it's gonna be good. We've got a good, solid team.
We got rugby and Liberty. That's a good accomplishment. That's something that I've been trying to do for a while, something my brother's been trying to do when he was in high school. I think some other guys tried to set it up. It's finally here, though. We got a solid squad, being as the first team. I'm really proud of all the guys. We all come out, we do hard work, you know, everything just like you would in any other sport, you know. We're all out here working hard. I've been playing rugby for a year now, organized rugby for a year. I've been learning the game, learning the basics since I was about 12 or 13. So I've got some experience, a little bit of experience, but more with organized. I played for Heart of America, an all-star team. I played the Kansas City Titans, my high school club last year, and I was selected to try out for the USA under-17 squad, which I did make. Anyways, doing a lot of hard work, getting things going. First game's the 28th, ready to dominate.
Now that spring sports are well underway, even more students are getting their opportunity to show dedication to sports. Seniors Paul Krogmeyer and Nathan LeBlanc spoke with us on what the season is shaping up to be for the men's baseball team.
We got Saturday, we got to do a scrimmage. That was really good. We're looking really good. We've been doing a 2-lane drill, which is basically where they put us in situations and we just see how we can do. They hit the ball, and as a team, defensive team, we do whatever we can. We've been hitting a lot. We're looking really good. It's going to be a fun year.
Pretty excited about this year. First time we've only had seniors and juniors on varsity, so we've pretty much been playing together for kind of 2 years now. We all know each other pretty well. We all get along. So we're expecting a pretty good year. We think we have a good team, but we'll find out next week when we start playing.
We know hard work is a crucial part of success in whatever sport an athlete may choose. But there are other components that play a role in one's performance.
You're right, Kevin. The food or fuel that an athlete puts into their body is also of great importance, especially for those athletes who need long-lasting energy in a race.
Such as our Lady J swimmers. This season, the girls were able to bond inside the pool, at practice, and outside the pool at pasta dinner gatherings. My lovely partner, Madi Reid, brings us more on this.
New Year's has come and gone, and many people have been sticking to their resolutions that include cutting back on carbohydrates. So what exactly are these girls doing feasting on pasta, knowing that they will need to get into a swimsuit the very next day?
We always have a pasta dinner like every evening before a meet. Anyone can sign up for them on the team, and we just go to someone's house and have a lot of pasta and like bread and everything to get ready for the meets and just get excited. And obviously pasta's good like for racing.
This idea of loading up on foods high in carbohydrates offers swimmers a great amount of energy on race day, and Coach Murphy is a strong believer that this tradition does great things for his team.
To get our bodies ready to swim, we take in extra carbs, so when you actually come in to swim, then the next day you have extra energy, and that's what the carbs are doing. They're transforming into energy the next day when you perform in your race.
Pasta dinners don't only enhance these ladies' performances in the pool, but they play a definite role in creating a strong bond between the teammates outside of the pool.
Pasta dinners are by far the most fun because everybody gets together. We're all cramped in one little table, all eating and really good food, and it's really fun because there's lots of bonding.
The connection between this season's athletes has been stronger than in years past. Coach Murphy gives the seniors a majority of the credit for this.
This group of seniors is as good a group as I've ever had. They're very focused on getting the underclassmen involved and excited about swimming, and they're really good in practice and showing the younger kids, the right thing to do and working hard.
It really brings the team together to have us, and we lead stuff, we lead cheers, we make sure everything's together.
As the Lady J swimmers take a dive into the remainder of their season, it is clear that their successes are not only dependent on what takes place inside the pool, but also the bonding on dry land. This has been Madi Reid reporting for Liberty Overtime.
Plenty of our teams are kicking off their seasons this afternoon. The baseball team is currently playing in a doubleheader at the KC Metro Tournament in Lee Summit. Their first game began at 3 o'clock and their second will start at 6.
Women's soccer is also traveling to Lee Summit to partake in the Lee Summit JV Varsity Tournament.
Be sure to get out and support our teams the beginning of this week.
And that is all for your Blue Jay Sports Report for today. Back to you at the news desk.
Well, that about wraps up today's show. Be sure to help out in our canned food drive this week.
And just remember, you're helping out for a great cause. If you have a comment, question, or opinion about our show, you can email us at klps_comments@liberty.k12.mo.us.
From me, Claire, and Taylor, have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you all back here tomorrow.